All right, here we go. We're going to do lesson 12.9. We are going to relate shapes, fractions, and area. Okay, our question is, how can you divide shapes into parts with equal areas and write the area as a unit fraction of the whole? Well, I know you're like, what? Well, we're going to divide shapes into parts with equal areas. Okay, we're used to doing that. Dividing is talking about equal areas, equal groups. Okay, now that's exactly what fractions are. The denominator is talking about equal groups. So that makes sense that all of this is related. We're going to show you how those two relate. Okay, our objective is you will partition or divide figures into parts with equal areas and express the area of each part as a unit fraction of the whole. Remember, a unit fraction is the only one part of the fraction. So it would be 1/2, 1/3, 1/4. The numerator is always 1. So it's one of the parts. So it's 1/10. Okay, so that's what the unit fraction is. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to skip this whole first page because we don't have a pattern block, and we're just going to move on. If you happen to have a pattern block, go for it. You may do it. Okay, let's go to the next one. We're going to make some connections right here. Okay, the rectangle at right is divided into 4 parts with equal area. Okay, here is our rectangle right here. My mouse is spinning right now. Okay, write the unit fraction that names each part of the divided whole. Well, you will notice how many parts is this whole divided up into. Okay, let's get up here and get a pen. I thought I had one, but it's not working. Okay, there it is. Okay, so I see 1, 2, 3, 4. I see 4 parts. Oh, my pen does not want to work. It does that all the time to me. Okay, it's divided into 4 parts. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, what is the area of each part? Well, how many squares are in each of those parts? Well, if I look at one, I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, there are 5 squares. 5 square. The SQ is short for square units. How many 1/4 parts does it take to make one whole? Well, how many? There's 4 parts. How many does it take to make one whole? Well, there's 1/4, there's 1/4, there's 1/4, there's 1/4. How many fourths does it take? Well, we're good, and we know it's 4, because 4 fourths equals 1 whole. Is the shape of each of the 1/4 parts the same? Well, look at this one, and then look at this one. Are they the same shape? No, they're not the same shape, are they? But is the area of each of those 1/4 parts the same? Well, we just counted them out. And yes, because all of them, yes, all of those fourths have 5 square units. The area of each of those parts is 5 square units. So, yes, all parts contain or have 5 square units. Okay. All right, let's go down to this one. All right, now we're going to do one on our own. We're going to divide it on our own. We're going to draw lines to divide the rectangle below into 6 parts with equal area. All right, let's look at this rectangle. right here, this rectangle right here. Okay. Now, how many squares do you see? Well, I see 1, 2, 3. I see 3 rows of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ooh, there are 3 rows of 8. Ooh, that's 3 times 8, which equals there are 24 squares, right? Squares. There we go. So if I'm going to divide these 24 squares into 6 parts, so it'd be 24 divided by 6, how many squares are going to be in each part? Well, you guessed it. 6 times what equals 24? It will be 4. So let's break it up. I'm going to try to do this with my finger. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops. I have, let me erase this real quick because it's hard to see. Anyway, I'll just do it this way. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops, I went over 1, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Write the fraction that names each part of the divided whole. Well, how many parts did we divide it into? 6. That's going to be your numerator, or your denominator, I'm sorry. Now, your unit fraction is always 1 when it's talking about the unit fraction. Write the fraction that names each part. So it's going to be 1/6. Write the area of each part. Well, we found out that each part is going to contain 4 squares. Okay. Each part is 1/6 of the whole shape's area. Okay. So see how many squares are in that rectangle, and then divide it among the different parts, and then see how many parts or how many squares are in each of the parts. That's all you're doing, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, here, divide the trapezoid. Here's our trapezoid because it has at least one set of parallel lines. Divide the trapezoid into 3 equal parts with equal area. Write the names of the new shape. Then write the fraction that names the area of each of the parts. We have to do 3 things. Here's a verb, divide. We have to write. Then we have to write again. So we have to do 3 things for this share and show. So I'm going to help you just a little bit, okay? It's going to be rough, but here we go. There we go. I divided it into 3 equal parts, and this is Case World, this is equal, okay? Now, write the names of the new shapes. What new shape did we create here and here and here? We named it is a triangle. You're exactly right. We created a triangle. Then write the fraction that names the area of each of the parts. Well, how many parts do we have? We have 3 equal parts. Then each part, that's like our unit fraction. That's 1 part, that's 1 part, that's 1 part. That 1 part is 1/3. Okay? All right. We're going to draw lines to divide the shape into equal parts that show the fraction given. All right, we're dividing this into 6 parts because that's what my denominator tells me. So let's try this. I'm going to go from here. That's 2 parts, isn't it? I'm going to go from here to here. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 parts. And then I'm going to go from here. Oops. And Mrs. Keys World, that was straight. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 parts. Okay. All right. Now we're going to be doing 1/2. If I add, I'm going to go from this corner down to this corner. If I folded this over and this was a straight line, if I folded this over this, it would be the exact same area. Okay. 1/8. Okay. I always start in the middle. Go across 1/8. I'm going 8 parts because that's what my denominator tells me. Okay, I have 2 parts now. I'm going to go another half. Well, that's 4 parts. Well, let me try it this way. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 8 parts. 1, that's 1/8. Okay, and this shows 1/2. This shows 1/6. Okay. Now we're going to draw lines to divide the shape into parts with equal area. Write the area of each part as a unit fraction. It's going to be 1 over something. Okay, so it's 8 equal parts. Well, let's figure out how many parts, how many squares are in here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Or you could count. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 rows of 1, 2, 3, 4. And that equals 16, right? That's how many squares are here. Well, let's look at this. If I want to divide 16 divided by 8, sorry, 16 divided by 8, how many are going to be in each part? Yep, 8 times 2 equals. So let's do this. There's 1 part, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 parts. How many are in each part? 2. Okay. Now, this part is how much? It is 1 out of 8 parts. And then there are 2 squares in each of those parts. Whew. Okay, we got this. We're going to keep going. Okay. Here's our rectangle. Okay, we have to divide it into 6 equal parts. Well, first off, let's figure out how many are in that rectangle. How many squares? We have 1, 2, 3 rows. We have 3 rows, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 8 in each of those rows. So we have 1 row, 2 rows, 3 rows, 3 rows of 8. And we know, because we are so good and we know our multiplication, that 8 times 3, 3 times 8 is 24. You can count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Okay? Well, there are 24 squares. We are going to divide them into 6 parts. So let's think about this. 24 divided by 6 equals, okay? 6 times what equals 24? 4. So each of those equal parts must have 4 squares in them. So let's do that, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, that's one part. 1, 2, 3, 4, that's 2 parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 parts. It works out, doesn't it? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 parts. We have 6 equal parts. Okay, we're going to write the fraction. How much, what is the fraction for one of those parts? It's 1 out of 6. Okay. How many squares are in each part? Well, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 squares in each of those 6 parts. Okay, I know it's a little bit confusing, but we'll get through this. We have 4 equal parts. Oh, this one looks a little bit different, doesn't it? Well, we have to figure out how many squares. We can do that by counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There are 12 squares. So we're going to do 12, and we're going to divide them into 4 equal parts. Okay, so we're good. We know 4 times what equals 12? We know 4 times 3 equals 12. 12 divided by 4 equals 3. So what we're going to do, we're going to divide this. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's one of the parts. 1, 2, 3. That's another of the parts. Okay, 1, 2, 3. That's another part. 1, 2, 3. That's another part. How many equal parts do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4 equal parts. Okay, so what is one of these parts called? It's the unit fraction. There's 1 out of 4. 1, 4. Okay. All right. We can attempt to do this. We can do this. Okay. I know a lot of people like to use their their pattern blocks. Okay. We use our pattern blocks, but we do not have those right now. So here we go. We're going to do this. We're going to divide this hexagon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6-sided shape. It's a hexagon into 2 equal parts. You can do that a number of ways, but I'm going to do it the easy way. I'm going to go this way to this way. So we divide each shape into the number of equal parts, then write the fraction that describes each part of the whole. Okay, well, each part, what is this part? It's 1 part out of 2. It's 1 out of 2 equal parts. Okay, now we're going to divide this one into 4 equal parts. Well, let's go and then go to the opposite vertices. There we go. Okay, in Mrs. Keith's world, those are all equal. So what is one of these parts? Well, it's 1 out of how many total? It's 1 out of 4. Okay, this one, it says 6 equal parts. So I'm going to divide it into the middle. And then I'm going to try to make these as even as possible. Okay, now how much is one of these? 1 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's 1 out of 6 equal parts. Okay, we got this. I know you do. Okay, sense or nonsense? I like that because I'm full of nonsense a lot of times. Here we go. Divide the hexagon into 6 equal parts. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to divide. That's what the verb tells me we're going to do. That's what we're going to do. We're going to go from the opposite vertices, vertex to vertex. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We divided the hexagon into 6 equal parts. Which pattern block, what shape represents 1/6 of the whole area? What does that look like? Yeah, you guessed it. It's a triangle. Oops, sorry, I'm going crazy. Okay, we're going to divide this trapezoid. It only has one set of parallel lines into 3 equal parts. We did that earlier, didn't we? Which pattern block represents 1/3 of the whole area? Right here, it tells it's a triangle. Now, Alexis said the area of 1/3 of the trapezoid is greater than the area of 1/6 of the hexagon because 1/3 equals 1/6. Does her statement make sense? Okay, here we go. All it comes down to is right here, 1/3 and 1/6. I see that she is comparing, but the problem is she is not comparing the same whole, okay? If she was comparing 2 trapezoids, she has 2 trapezoids here. In Mrs. Key's world, they're the same, they're congruent. And she divided this one into 6, and she divided this one in third, then she could have that answer. But because she's comparing a hexagon with a trapezoid, you can't compare the two. It's a different whole that she is dividing. So no, she cannot make that statement. Okay? All right, we're going to move on. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to do lesson 12.9. Please, please, please try to do it on your own. Okay? Remember, you have to figure out how many squares are in this rectangle and then divide it into 3 parts. Okay? How many squares are in this rectangle and then divide it into 8 parts? How many squares are in this rectangle and divide it in 2 parts? Okay? Same way here. You have to draw the lines. Okay, and then give the fraction. So if I have, draw lines, I have 4 equal parts. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 blocks, and I'm going to divide that by 4 parts. I'm going to divide it into 4 parts. And we know that's 3. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. How many equal parts do you have? 4. How much is each one of these parts? 1 out of 4. Okay? Okay, this one, 1/3. Let me go back to it. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 parts. I'm going to divide it into 3 parts. So I have 6 squares divided by 3 because that's what my denominator says. How many are going to be in each part? 2. So it's 1. So I have 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay? That's what I need for you to do. We're not going to do number 8. And I think we can do the rest of it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to put I want you to try it all by yourself. Please, please, please try this all by yourself. I don't want you to get confused. I want you to try it on your own. And then I want you to check your homework on the next Canvas assignment. Okay? Thank you.